of the dark side. You don't know the power of the dark side. You don't know the power of the dark side. You don't know the power of the dark side. You don't know the power of the dark side. Don't know the power. You don't know the power. You don't know the.
What is up, guys? What up? Episode 2 of 3 of the Let's Talk RC podcast with Chris Nelson. Want to welcome you guys to the show. So, our first episode, man, not bad, not bad. I guess we're on to something here. Our first episode had about, oh my God, what, 160 continuous watchers? I don't think I haven't seen that with any really other podcasts out there. That's pretty impressive. And then in 1 week, we're at 10,000 views already. 10,000 views. That's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. So we started streaming. We're good to go. All right, guys, we're good to go. Producers say we're good to go. Want to thank the Miss Lovely Lorena Samantha Moon Nelson and the stud himself, Mr. Garrett Dykes, the producers in the background. They're doing an awesome job. If you guys were trying to watch Facebook Live earlier, you're gonna be like, "What producers?" I promise we're gonna work on the internet, man. I pay for the most expensive internet, and when nothing works, it's just like, what do you do? You know, what do you do? But all right, guys, we got some topics we're gonna go over. We got marshals. That's gonna be a huge topic we're gonna talk about. We've been having this issue for I don't know how many years. Gonna go through marshals, and then we're also gonna talk about live coverage. And then we got a lot of stuff in between that we're going to talk about as well, but those are the main topics we're going to talk about. So we're going to have a pretty decent podcast. All right, let's get into it, guys. Here we go. All right, guys, here we go. So let's get into it right off the bat. First off, we want to, again, we're going to have a little race for our buddy Stephen Best. Oh, man, I miss this guy so much already. I miss him so much. But this is awesome. Ron Reed and the Utah guys, they're going to have a kind of an event for to say, hey, the best of the best for Stephen Best, man. June 5th through June 7th. And it's going to be a cool event, man. We got a lot of sponsors already on board. We're included on one of them. We're going to have the Steve Best edition, Fuel edition there. So these are kind of like, I want to say shelf queens, but we're going to have those. And then half the proceeds are going to go to the Steve and his wife's and his daughter. So their family, so the Best family. So join them out in Utah. If any California guys or anyone in the United States can make it out to this race, that'd be a great event, guys. All right. It's in Spanish Fort, Utah. So it's going to be a fun event. All right. So check that out. Another race we got going, Arena Cross. That's right, guys. Cannot wait. June 19th through the 24th, or to the 21st. This is going to be at the same arena that we had the TNR Challenge, all right? It's a smaller event. It's going to be only a 3-day event. We got Friday practice, Saturday qualifying, Sunday main events. Don't forget at Arena Cross, we have the Joker lane, so that's going to be a hell of a fun time. The strategy and racing with the Joker lane is so much fun, so we got that all figured out, so it works really good. So that's super cool. So don't forget about that. Arena Cross, and that's going to be June 19th through the 21st, coming up in a couple months, actually. All right, guys. So we're gonna jump right into this. We're gonna off the bat. We're gonna try to get through this podcast for you guys. Again, this is the second podcast or the number 2 of 3 of the TNR challenge. Right. So we're almost done with it. After the third one, we're not going to talk about the TNR challenge no more. All right, promise. All right, and we're going to focus on other RC stuff, events, news, drama, which we're going to have in this podcast as well. But we're going to focus on those things too. So, and then by that time, after the third one, we're going to talk about DNC. We're going to talk about arena cross, P&B. We're going to talk about a lot of races, right, and a lot of stuff that's in between as well. So, all right, here we go. TNR. What's left over to talk about? Good stuff. You guys were awesome with the trash. I cannot thank you guys enough for putting the trash where it belongs. And at the end of the event, you guys cleaned up after yourself, man. That I'm like, wow, you guys did a great job. It saved us a whole bunch of work and time. So you guys did an awesome job on the cleanup. Now, unfortunately, there was just a little bit of damage done to the facility. Just a little bit. All right. So there's an area where, let's see here. All right, guys. So this is one of the areas where I didn't even know. I want to say I knew it existed, but I never personally even walked over there. This is an RV spot where it's got a nice scenery to look out. I mean, at nighttime, it's just amazing. It's phenomenal. But unfortunately, see that nice brick area right there? Fortunately, it got a little damaged. And behind that area, it's a nice, it's supposed to be, just dirt, and it's supposed to be restricted. But unfortunately, somebody barbecued and they left their remains. All right. That's just not cool. So just if you're going to barbecue, you guys got to know, hey, we got to bring a bucket to take our remains with us, or just go find somewhere like a trash can or something to dump it. I know that stuff is hot, and hopefully it's cool by the time you guys find somewhere to dispose of it. But that just wasn't the place to dispose of the the ashes. All right. So that wasn't the damage, though. The damage was actually here. All right, guys. So if you see how nice the brick is here, see how nice and clean it was? Unfortunately, this was the aftermath of our race. All right, guys. So if you could look at the bricks, those bricks have a whole bunch of writing on them. They have the founders of the city, founders of the arena, and the city of Norco takes that area quite serious. This arena is the gem of the city of Norco. Okay, they treat this place with high values, and for us to come in and destroy that part right there was not cool. So we actually have to pay for that, and had to pay for the removal of the ashes. And they actually told us they were replacing the brick because they couldn't get it cleaned off the way they wanted. So just the brick with the writing on it. So unfortunately, guys, if you go to any area, you go to any track, any race area, you got to know where you're breaking in your engines. You got to know your surroundings. You got to know, even when you're barbecuing. I don't know if that's break-in from engines or if it's barbecue drip. If you don't have a drip pan when you guys are barbecuing and those are the remains of it, it's just not good. Not good at all, guys. So unfortunately, that area is now banned from RVs being parked there. And that was an awesome spot. Like I said, that was an awesome spot to look over. You literally could look over and see the whole city. It's just amazing. But unfortunately now we cannot park RVs in that area. It's going to be 100% restricted. So, that sucks. But what do? We live and learn, and if I would have known that spot was there and the writing was on the brick, I personally would have roped that off or had some like cones there, or just put, hey, be cautious of brick or whatever like that. But hey, we're learning the facility. We're learning it as we go. So, hey, we live and learn, man. We got to go on with it. So it is what it is. All right. So moving on. Now, let's move into marshals, guys. Oh my God. This has been the topic of, this has been the topic like you wouldn't believe for years, guys. Years. All right. Again, I've been racing since 2004. And we're in 2026 now, and I personally are going to say I've never seen marshaling this bad in my life. And I'm not talking about the physical aspect of turn marshaling. I'm talking about not going out to your marshal spot after a race, guys. I mean, it's just not that hard. I mean, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I saw, see, I saw a picture. Let me see here. Let's go here. So there's a picture I saw with Adam Drake. And I don't know how I came across this, but look, I want you guys to look at this. Thank you, Adam Drake, for putting this out there, calling for marshals for every single heat gets really old. But guys, look at the date on this, 2022. Okay, this wasn't just a TNR race. This wasn't just recently. This has been going on forever, guys. 2022. All right, this is we okay. So I saw on another post. Let me see here. So this guy wrote, I'm going to skip to the very bottom of it, and he says, it's not the customers or racers' job to fix a product, which is our race. That falls on the manufacturer, the race promoter, which would be us. All right. We can, you know, and he's right. He's right to an extent. We can only do so much. We can only say it so many times when we're calling for marshals. We can only say it so many times to do so many times. We are now, we don't have a choice but to implement. You're going to lose a round of qualifying or something. We said it before our race, and we didn't think we really needed to have to, implement that rule because nobody was coming out at all. It was just beyond ridiculous. And yes, the racer, man, you guys are you're saying don't blame the racer, which I am not blaming the racer, but there's one rule we have to do, and that's turn marshal after a race. There's nothing to it. Guys, we just had the NSX race, all right? Had nothing to do with TNR. But it was an awesome event. Anthony Westergaard and family threw an awesome event. The only problem I saw with that race was, no, there was two problems. One, it was only one day. That sucked because I couldn't do the damn race. But two was the marshals again, okay? Now, everything that everyone said at my event, at the TNR race, that said that was the reason why marshals weren't coming out, none of that was at this race. There was plenty of room to marshal. There was an adequate announcer, which they said we didn't have, which is Jimmy Babcock, which is one of the most renowned announcers out in RC. Okay. Everything was to how it was supposed to be. It wasn't a long night. We weren't tired or anything. Marshals simply weren't coming out. It was like Jeff G said, it something needs to be done about this, guys. It's just getting beyond ridiculous. And the paid marshal thing, I think it's over. I don't know about other states, but in California, I'm pretty sure the paid marshal thing is coming to an end because it was getting ridiculous. It's just getting ridiculous. So I know it's the promoter's job to fix the problem, like what that guy Rick McCurry said, but at the same time, we're racers and we're the ones that are doing that, you know? Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of good marshals out there. A lot of good marshals out there. Hell, I take marshaling, I take it serious. I'm 50 years old, and I'm going to run my butt out to those marshal spots, all right? Look at this marshal. Watch this guy, all right? You're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 cars right there. This guy gets 3 of them, and the other 2 are able to go, and these guys didn't lose any time at all. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not suggesting that marshals dive into a jump like that and marshal. I am not suggesting that. But big kudos to that guy for doing that. Big kudos to him, man. I mean, that is when we say marshal how you would like to be marshaled, not everyone can marshal like that, but damn it, they're praying they crash in front of that guy. That guy that's why we call him a hero marshal, all right? You got other guys out there like Tab Wilder, older guy, all right? This guy, I'm not sure how old Tab is. He hung out with the Hebrews back in the day, I'm sure. But you know what? He is running to get to a marshal spot. Running, all right? Look at this guy. This is another hero. Now watch this. This Truggy, and this is why we say watch your corner. That marshal, look, he's watching the corner. He sees the truck is jumping and gonna crash. He knows it. He sees it completely before the truck is even done crashing. He's on it. We as racers wish marshals would do this more often. Okay? I mean, that is just too cool. That is just too cool. You know what? We're gonna see that one more time. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, that marshal looks really familiar. He looks really familiar. Yep, that's what I thought. That's me. That's me back in 20. This has got to be 2018 or 2017 at a JBRL race. All right. I'm on it, dude. I marshal the way I want to marshal, guys. Straight truth. All right. There's nothing to it. I hustle when I can and do what I could do. Now, if you can't run or you can't marshal, it is what it is. I get it. You know what I mean? But, and I know that's where the paid marshal comes in. But man, guys, if you can't marshal, find someone that can. And if you find someone that can marshal, just, you know, have them pay attention or have them run. I don't know. It's hard to say. It really is. But anyway, I forgot to say this. See that running board at the bottom, guys? We actually are going to do a poll. So you guys could click on, I mean, it's going to be hard because you're watching from your phone. I don't know if you can get it on your TV or whatever you want to do, but click on that link, guys. We're doing a poll. How long would you like to see a pro A main at a big event? How long? All right. Would you like to see 60 minutes? Would you like to see 45, 30, 25? How long of a main would you like to see? All right. Now, it was kind of cool because I actually got to talk to pros. And it was very interesting to see their reaction and what they actually want. It's totally not what I was expecting. I got answers that, again, this is why I'm not a pro. I got answers that I was not expecting to hear. So it's cool. But this poll is for you guys. I am curious what the racers want to hear. I want to see. Do you guys like the shorter 25-minute main events to keep it exciting? Or would you like to see the long 45 or the long 60-minute race to where, I don't know, like someone like Mayfield, he gets out front, he's checked out, it's boring. Now no one's running for, you know, racing for first. It's second or third, you know? So this is an interesting poll. So click on that. We're going to have that poll up for about a week. And I can't wait to see the results. I can't wait to see what you guys want to do. So definitely check on that. All right, guys. So back to the marshals. Marshaling is not easy, guys. It is not easy. You have to be careful, guys. You have to be careful. These marshals, I want to say they weren't paying attention to what they were doing, but they just, like, as a marshal, everybody, I want to say almost every racer has gotten hit by an RC car because A, either the car was going out of control, B, just weren't simply paying attention, or C, you literally pulled an airhead and just walked right in front of a car and you got hit. I've caught a car before. A car jumped when I was running back to my marshal spot, and literally I took my eyes off that jump for a hot second and literally caught the car and was able to throw it back on the track. Thank God I didn't get hit, you know. But not every marshal is lucky as me. Check this out. Oh God, that's brutal. That is brutal, guys. That hurt. That had to hurt. You know what I mean? You take your eyes off that car for a hot minute, and oh my God, something like that can happen. Especially when there's a track that has a part of a course that's that dangerous, or that, you know, a part of the track where you have to pay attention. You can't take your eyes, and especially marshaling. You know what I mean? You have to keep focus and keep your eyes on that. You know. Here's another one. Check this one out, guys. This one is the worst time you can get hit is on the straight, or when a car is on the gas and not off the gas. There was no brake in that one, right? There was no brake at all in that. Zero. He was full wood going for that jump. And the marshal just didn't look. All he had to do is turn left, you know, look before you cross any major lane. Any major lane at all, you got to look. Major lane crossing or jumps, you got to look, guys, or a bridge. You know? Because it could result in an injury, and thank God none of these guys were hurt. Thank God all these guys were able to walk away. But I mean, it's brutal. It's brutal, man. Check this one out. They see the crash. He didn't look right before, and look at that. Out, done. Now watch what this other marshal does. Okay, but he's out right there. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go back to that. Watch what this marshal does. The second marshal, which is Brian Eider, He sees that he got knocked over. He gets the car out of the way. He stands in front of his head, in front of his face to protect him so another car doesn't hit him. And he marshals and waits until he gets up. The video stops there, but he marshals and waits till he gets up, guys. To me, I want to marshal next to that guy all the time because A, he was looking out for the racer. He threw his car back out there. B, he looked out for the marshal right after. That right there is premier marshaling, guys. Premier. That marshal was looking out for the racer and the marshal. That doesn't get any better than that. So big kudos to Brian Eider on that one for having his back on that one because it could have been ugly because he was laid out and then another car could have landed on him or you know what I mean. So it's tough. It's tough. So again, guys, marshaling, man. Now, marshals can actually get the worst of people too. It could draw tensions in the air. All right. I've been there. I've done that. So I've had bad races and other people have had bad races. And after the race, what are you supposed to do? You got to go back out and marshal. All right. Well, I got a message from a guy, long-time racer. This guy's been racing for a long time. And he went to our race. He went to the TNR Challenge. And he actually did pretty decent. He even said he didn't run one lap on Saturday because the day was so long. So let me see. Let me find this for you real quick. So check this out. He writes this and says, "Good morning, Chris. I didn't race for 10 years after so-and-so. Threw my truck off the track during a DNC back in 2013 in Arizona." So, and then he goes on to say how much he loved my race and so on and so on. But just the fact that he stopped racing after that incident, okay? Now, obviously we don't have that video, but I was there and we saw what happened. And he was TQ or second, I can't remember which one it was, but he spun out right in front of the marshal. And then, all of our worst nightmare, if you're a TQ, you get the TQ blue, somehow you spin out, something happens, and you go from first to dead last, all right? Well, he felt the marshal should have got his car and flipped him over. Instead, the marshal waited, and he got put dead last. The car, I don't know if he did it on purpose, or the car, I don't know what happened, but he did hit the marshal's foot. The marshal picked up the car and completely chucked his car over the fence. There was no coming back from that. All right. Now, I think the marshal had a bad race. I'm pretty sure he did. I remember he had a bad race before that. So he was already not in the best of mood. But a simple act like that can ruin somebody's RC career. And that's what happened. This was a fast racer. Obviously, he TQ'd or was at the top. And it was an A main. And he threw the car over the fence. And it completely stopped that guy. It took his interest completely away. And we always talk about what is bad for RC. That's it right there. That's it. That was brutal. And it was funny because I posted something about that and I forgot there were other incidents where marshals are throwing cars. So marshaling is such a big key to this sport, and we just got to work on it, guys. We got to work on being a better marshal, being safe. Being safe is key to being a marshal. That is it, safety. And then C, getting out to marshal, man, and just doing our job. Because, yeah, you can blame the race promoter all you want. You can blame the track all you want. But at the end of the day, all of us racers know that we got to turn marshal after an event. It is what it is, right? So moving on. So, and I'm just happy to know it wasn't just the TNR race, all right? So, yeah. All right, guys, media. We're moving on to media. We are having the worst luck in the world with media. I tell you, if it's not at my house, it's at the track. I'm telling you, man. That's what we were running into media problems before we were doing this podcast. So, media, guys, we work our butts off to provide media. In 2023, we had the TNR challenge and we lost quite a bit because 2024, I'm sorry. We turned the race into a 5-day race, kind of like the DNC format, and it was great. Everybody had a lot of run time. We had 2 announcers, we had 3 track builders, we had, you name it, it was done properly. Everyone had a ton of run time, so much run time they were complaining. All right, it was great, but we lost our butts on that race. We lost close to 15 grand. So, we had to make a decision. Where can we cut cost, but yet still give to the racer that's out there, the racer that's paying to be at the event. And we decided to cut the audio, the media, because that was a nice chunk of change. We decided to cut the media and to attempt to do it ourselves. Now, Lorena has worked her butt off doing that, okay? It's stuff that, I mean, I do audio, video, and the stuff that she's doing in the back, making commercials, getting to where we're at. She's got us top tier and we are ready to rock. It's so amazing how the quality of the product is perfect. It's the internet that's been killing us, literally the internet. So we're working on it. But guys, we were told that we didn't have any coverage at all at our event. And when that makes me upset because one of us is lifted 30 feet in the air, or my nephew's on the driver's stand, or our other workers are working, or Lorena's in the background with the media going, and then people are complaining online that we don't have media coverage, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because this didn't just happen overnight. We're talking about months to prepare for this event, months preparing for this. And when people are complaining there's no coverage, oh, it's just heartbreaking. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, fighting the internet. Yes, we weren't able to broadcast on all three platforms. We normally would broadcast on Live RC, Facebook, and YouTube. But unfortunately, our upload speed wasn't the best. And so we were only able to broadcast on Live RC, all right? So, again, when we have people complaining about, I don't know, not having media or just anything of that sort, we were just like, okay, come on, guys. Where's the first person you're gonna go, or where's the first platform you're gonna go to watch a race? Okay, and that's what I said. It's like Notch. He's a very intelligent guy, very smart. He's been in the RC industry forever, and for people like him to say, where's the feed? I mean, I don't know if I don't want to say you're joking, because obviously he said I found it, but I'm like, that's just, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. That's just, it's nerve-wracking, So there were multiple people saying, where's the feed? I know the first place I'm going to go to is Live RC. And once I see the feed is up on Live RC, then I'm going to venture off and go to Facebook. Then I'm going to go to YouTube. Because, yeah, I want to stream it on my TV. I want to stream it in my garage. I want to watch blah, blah, blah. But if I can't find it in those spots, I'm going to stick to Live RC, guys. And we had broadcasting the whole event. Well, not the whole event. We didn't do practice, but we did qualifiers. And we had a still camera up there. And then when it came to the main event, we were streaming the main events. No problem. I was up there filming them. I know, So, to say we didn't have media, that was, like I said, that was heartbreaking, and that kind of sucked to see. We're going to do our best to have media up at the next event. We reached out to some people, and hopefully we're going to have a little surprise there for for our media coverage. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, we like the commercials and everything else we did for that was amazing. Just amazing work. And for you guys not to be able to see it all was like, oh, all the hard time and all the hard headache we did to get that one, to get it going was just like, ah. So it is what it is. So, yeah, that was fun. So speaking of, actually, we want to do a little intermission here. I normally don't talk about my own race program a lot. And, let me see here. So I normally don't talk about my my racing program, but all I can say is I'm so excited to go do DNC this year. I'm so excited. I don't have to run a race. I don't have to worry about any of that stress. But oh my God. So at my local track, fast intermediate guys are hitting 32s, 33, average 33, but the fast lap, consistent lap is a 32 if you're being on pace and you're just killing it. And your super lap is a 31. Well, one of the good guys at Thunder Alley, one of the locals there, Peter Whitehead, he's always volunteering. Hey, Chris, what do you think about my buggy? Give this thing a run. Give it a shot. That was the worst thing I could have did. I am now going to be running Mugen. He gave me his Mugen buggy, and off the bat, first lap, I did a 31 something. And I was like, whoa, okay, that was easy to drive. I dipped into the 30s, and that's pro times. I'm nowhere near a pro, nowhere near a pro. But when your car is that easy to drive, and no, that car wasn't set up by the Drake, okay? Even though he's got Drake to his disposal, it wasn't set up to him. It was set up for him to drive, for Peter to drive. You know, he's not a pro, he's a sportsman, maybe 40 plus, you know. But when he let me drive his car, oh my God, it was just amazing. Just amazing. And you guys know me, I love my hot bodies. My hot bodies cars, I'm comfortable with. I could throw it down anywhere I go, blah, blah, blah. But when you could literally pick up 2 seconds off the bat by switching cars, I told him, I was like, Peter, what do I got to do to run this car? I got to have this car. What do I got to do? You know, man, this guy is so nice. He literally was like, hey, Chris, just run it. Just take it. It's yours. Do it. Do your thing. Have fun at DNC. Kill it. And I'm just like, you talk about that's like, oh my God, it's like someone handing you the keys to a Porsche. That's what I felt. So the MBX8, oh, this car is just at another level. Just at another level. Just I can't say much a lot about it. But what I can say is this is the car that will be released here. I want to say it's going to be released in the next week or either right before DNC or right after. I'm not sure. But you know what? Let's give Adam a call. Let's give Adam Drake a call and see what he says. All right, because this is going to be very, very, very interesting. This is the new kit that's going to come out, and it's the MBX8R, and they're going to do a Nitro and an E version of it. It's a US limited edition. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I'm not going to say what they're doing is wrong or right. I just know the hop up parts that come with this car add up to a lot more than what they're selling this car for, this kit. So this is something that you guys got to jump on. You Mugen guys out there, this is something you got to hop on because to get this kit with all the hop ups, that's pretty cool. But let's give Adam a call. Let's see what he has to say about it. Adam, what's up, buddy?
What's
Can you
that?
hear me?
Yeah, what's happening?
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Just doing our podcast here and just bragging about this damn Mugen that I'm going to start driving now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Right? So, hey, man, I can't give all the details on what it's coming with and what it's going to have, but just I was hoping to get you online just to kind of discuss like what's going to be out there for these guys to grab, and this is the car that I've been driving the past week, getting used to.
Yeah, so basically, there's not really um, like anything new geometry wise or anything like that. It's basically we wanted to put together a kit that's the way that we, run and race the cars in the box, so that you don't have to get kind of a whole list of option parts. So it should end up kind of going live or being available to the public next week. It's going to be the MBX8R US limited edition. We'll do a nitro and an electric version. And it's for the most part, it's just going to come, like I said, with all the option stuff we use, like universals, aluminum servo saver top, or yeah, the servo saver top, lightweight suspension arms. It'll come with the correct springs that we run, the 10-5 rear, 925 front, 2-1 front sway bar, 2-4 rear, and then like a bunch of flashpoint stuff. So it's going to come
Oh,
with
nice.
full bottles of flashpoint shock and diff fluid, not like most kits where it just has the tiny little bottles. Um, there are some new things from Flashpoint, like hard anodized shock standoffs. In the
Hmm.
rear, it'll have an extended rear shock standoff. It'll have Flashpoint fuel line, magnetic wheel nuts, aluminum
Nice.
cross pins in the diffs, the 4-dot carbon rear hub plates.
Nice.
It will have J Concepts S15 body, lightweight body, the J Concepts Razor wing. And then one of the cool things we have from MIP, we all pretty much run the MIP high flow bypass one pistons.
Hmm.
But normally you have to like drill the pistons yourself, and there's so many different drill bit sets out there that some are really accurate and some aren't. So MIP went ahead and basically took our spec that we normally run and all the pistons come pre-drilled. They're marked front and rear, so super easy to identify, and just makes to where you can, again, for the most part, build the kit right out of the box and
Uh,
have the race car that we've been running and that you're now running.
okay, that's a lot of stuff, dude. That's a
Yeah.
lot. That I had no idea there was that much crap going on. Again, I picked up the car and just ran it. So where's my mouse? Okay, so yeah, yeah, man, I don't money price wise, I can't even figure what that is, but just the idea of all the things that you're doing to that is, man, if I don't want to say more manufacturers would do something like that, but that's thinking outside the box, literally outside the box and putting it inside the box. So that's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes it's hard, like when you come out with a new platform, you don't always know what's going to be the end setup or what the end,
Oh,
option
yeah.
parts you're going to use. So
Yeah.
with the 8R, it's been out for a little while. Instead of just kind of ordering more 8R kits, we decided to do something kind of cool and different. And again,
Yeah.
um, use the parts and kind of team up with the companies like Flashpoint, J Concepts, MIP, and just make it a lot more user friendly. And the kit really isn't going to be a huge difference in price. I think it's going to be about $100 difference from the original MBX8R, which is pretty shocking knowing that, like just the MIP pistons are $50.
The axles,
Universals
yeah, the
are,
universals, yeah.
yeah, I mean, so it's an awesome value, but I think more important than like the value is just that you're able to kind of start with settings and the parts that are kind of been tried and true and
Yeah.
that we all use. Like you may still tune or kind of adjust the setup to your driving style a little bit, but for the most part out of the box you're going to be able to build a full-on race kit and not need to go out and get a bunch of option parts.
I think that's awesome. And now obviously this isn't for the guy that's starting to race and all that. This is for the guys like myself, your top expert, some of your sportsman guys that are just like, at that level. I think this is awesome. This is great. And like I said, I was able to pick up somebody's car, not even practice with it, throw it on the track, and it was just amazing. So what you guys are doing, you're just stopping us from going outside and buying a whole bunch of extra hop-ups when it's all there. So that's cool. I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of like, I mean, our thinking behind it was for one to kind of help someone who's new to the brand or wanting to try the brand
To the
to
brand,
be able to
yes.
just kind of get everything in one box, but
Yeah.
also like, I mean, say if you already have a car, you've been running it all year, and um, you're going to retire the car or sell it, you now can just buy a fresh kit and build it. So
Yeah.
it's actually really good for if you're wanting to just kind of refresh and have a new kit, or if you want to try, the MBX8R and not have to kind of go through, take CVAs out, put universals in,
Yeah.
spend a bunch of extra money. So
That's cool, man. That's really cool. So I'm really digging it. Like I said, I was impressed with overall the performance of it. And I mean, as you know, a lot of people know, I was a Mugen hardcore guy
yeah,
back in the day, and I love. I mean, and I'm not here to sell the car. That's not what I'm doing. I'm talking about my own personal race program,
yeah,
and it's so much easier for somebody else to explain what it comes with to make life easy for us.
yeah.
But just from me, from going from Mugen to Hot Bodies and then going back to driving that car was just, I came down with the biggest smile on my face. Hold on. I came down the driver's side with the biggest Kool-Aid smile on my face. You can't see it, but it was amazing. And when Peter said, I saw you coming down the stand laughing and smiling, you were having a good time. You were like, that's what it's about. And I'm like, that is what RC is about, dude. And I can't think like, it wasn't you that sold me on this. You had no idea.
Yeah,
You were shocked when I told you, like, Adam, guess what? That dark side is not dark for me anymore. I
yeah.
saw the light. It was a local guy that's not even close to a pro and sold me on it. And this is why I really feel local scene at your local track, supporting your local whatever is so important because
It
the
is.
friendship, the camaraderie with everything and with it, that's what helped me get to where I'm at right now. And I haven't been this excited for a DNC in I don't know how many years. Straight truth.
Yeah. I think it's funny too, because like I think when you first drove Peter's car, it was almost like you didn't really want to believe it. You're like, yeah, it's kind of good, but my car needed this, and and then, you know,
Yeah.
after a couple times of doing that and doing it at a couple different tracks, it's like you just had to say, you know what, the lap times don't lie, and
Yeah.
and it hasn't been just you. I mean, and this happens a lot of times. Like Noah DeLong drove Rhonda's car the one time at Channel Islands, and it was like we couldn't get the radio out of his hand for an hour. He just stayed up there and kept
Wow.
running and running.
Yep.
And then Abel just recently drove Peter's e-buggy right before the TNR race, and he had just bought brand new AE cars a couple weeks before that, and he sold the AE car that night so that he
Wow.
could put that money towards Peter's e-buggy. And yeah, it's been kind of cool to see. I mean, again, we're not, hardcore trying to like push or oversell the product.
Yeah.
Um, we kind of think the product speaks for itself. You see a lot of good results in all the different classes at Silver State, TNR, things like that. Um, but it is cool to see when you have time at local tracks, whether it's practicing or club racing, and you kind of just, trade off remotes and drive different cars when the computer's on, and,
Yeah.
have fun and see what the different options are out there.
And that was cool. Like I said, I did that at a race. And guys, I'm one to say I don't suggest people switching cars right before a big race. Do what you got to
Yeah,
do
for
when you're
sure.
comfortable. I'm not that guy. But oh my God, I would go to this race in the back of my head being like, I could go faster. I could go faster if I
Yeah.
was driving the Mugen. So it is what it is. But I can't remember the little kid's name from Arizona. He did the switch too.
Yeah, Reed Saunders.
Reese Saunders
Yeah,
in just
right before Silver State,
Silver State.
they
That's what
came
it
out and
was.
practiced a bunch
Yeah.
at the dirt and practiced at Nitro Compound. And yeah, went to Silver State and won both buggy classes that he was running the
Jeez.
music car in.
Yeah, that's cool. That's super cool. So, but yeah, man, I just wanted to get you on real quick just to explain the hop ups and everything. And just, thank you for all your hard work, dedication. I mean, you're my buddy, so I don't really have to thank you. But it's cool though, because to see I haven't driven a Mugen car in years, and to see where it's
Yeah,
progressed and where it's at right now, and like I believe Ty Tessman was the one that told me. I talked to Ty about the hot bodies. I was like, why do you think so many guys were fast then, but then they stopped? And then Ty was like, the progression of the eighth scale buggy itself, whatever company it is, it gets faster and faster.
yeah,
And the Hot Buddies car that I'm driving, it's a good car, and I felt like I've been podium and going fast with it. But to drive another car that's at the top level, at the top of the game, to see how much faster those cars are,
yeah,
Ty's not even racing anymore, and he spoke the truth.
yeah,
So that's pretty cool to see. Pretty cool to see.
yeah. It's
So
cool. It's cool, to see and know that you've already had some good results with it and excited about it. And yeah, looking forward to customers being able to get the cars soon.
awesome, man. All right, I'm not going to hold you up. So I just want to say thanks again, and I know you're going to go to DNC. So good luck at DNC. You're one of the old farts
Yeah.
that could get in that A main. So you and Ryan Letts, I'm always rooting for you guys no matter what. So good luck at DNC, and of course I'll be racing against Miss Rhonda. She better watch out, dog. I got a Mugen now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Sounds
thanks
good. Well, I
again.
appreciate it.
Yep, thanks again, buddy, and we'll talk soon, man.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, buddy. Thanks again, man. All right, guys. So that was the man himself, Mr. Adam Drake. Yep. Like if you didn't hear it, I am going to be running the new MX-8 American Edition. So that's going to be cool. So I'm excited about that. All right. Haven't made the switch of like a sponsor and all that kind of crap. I just really was able to grab the car and, blessed that Peter's going to let me run this car and get it and run it. So excited about that. But yeah, I did hear that. I heard somebody do an early premature post about the car coming out, and they were saying it was an Adam Drake edition. And I was like, Adam, that's weird. You're gonna do an Adam Drake edition? And Adam was like, no, I don't, why that guy said that online. That's not true. It's gonna be an American edition. It's not gonna be the Drake edition, and so on and so on. And of course, I wasn't running the car, so I can care less, But when my buddy asked me to run it, I was just like, okay, that's cool. But that goes into one of our next subjects, guys. Posting stuff that you don't have any business posting. All right, like I see a lot of RC car guys doing this. RC guys posting stuff that they A, don't know what's going on. B, it's completely false. And it's not just RC car guys. It's other, you know, people doing a live or a cast or anything like that. When they're speaking on events or speaking on people's posts and resharing them or stuff like that, especially when you don't know what really happens, that's not good. That's just not good at all. I mean, um, I don't know if you guys saw that post with the Fuller. It wasn't the Fuller boys. It was just Mason, but another guy. And people were resharing that post without even calling Mason or calling Mike or calling the other kid that was involved and asking them first, like, "Hey, did you guys leave trash at that place or whatever?" You know. And people were already sharing that post, not even knowing what was going on. And you never know, dude. Like Mason could have been in the middle of a deal with somebody or with something with another business, and you guys are going around posting stuff like that. Remember, these guys do this stuff for a living. This is their income, their job. And when you don't know what's going on and you're spreading posts that aren't true, or maybe it was true. I mean, but what right do you guys have to do that stuff? I'm just appalled about it. I just really am. I just really am. And you know, I saw a post and I saw Mike Fuller get online and defended his kid, and I was like, good for you, dude. Like, it sucks when people are reposting stuff they have no idea what they're doing or no idea what the post is about or what's going on. It's the same thing with our race. People are posting and commenting on like our event and aren't even there, have no idea what's going on, you know? So yeah, you guys got to watch that stuff, man. It's just, ugh, you know, just, again, this is what people do for a living. And you just never know what's going on, you know, like even like our back to our coverage, okay, our media coverage. I saw Trammell, you know, he was talking about one of our camera guys. He was like, man, he was all over the place. He wasn't following so on and so on, you know. Now, that was my nephew, A. And the other guy was someone I know that wasn't able to make it back. But I'm coming, again, yes, I'm a promoter, but as a racer first, I told the camera guy, listen, if somebody wants to sit in that spot, you back the camera up and let them sit there. You let them stand there, okay? Because the racer comes first. I hate it when I love media, but I hate it when media takes a spot on that driver's stand and you cannot either squeeze in or have room to race. I cannot stand that at all. So I told him to do that. And then we also had the world famous Jason Runa. You know, we love that man. That man has saved, he's not other races, but RT and our race. He's done so much coverage for us. You know, it's just unbelievable. But when he was standing in the same spot as our camera guy, he was getting in the way of our camera guy. And I told him off the bat, I go, look, dude, this guy right here is not only our title sponsor, he's very important to the RC industry. And a lot of people might want to watch his feed over our coverage. So if he's going to be in the same direction as you with the camera, you turn the camera the opposite direction and you just pick up another car. Okay. Again, people commenting and have no idea what's going on, saying stuff that's not true. Yeah, he was following another car, but he wasn't lost. He was following directions. Okay. So again, people are spreading propaganda or whatever it is, you know, just, oh my God. So anyway, just a couple more things that we wanted to highlight. So the invite class at our event, all right, the invite class. I thought this was the coolest thing in the world. Okay. If you guys watched or did 10 scale back in the day, we had the Reedy race. It was kind of almost the same way. We try to follow the same format. Dave at Coyote, they got the invite class or invite race there too. And I kind of followed that format a little bit, but changed it up a little bit. But we had a lot of complaints that the invite class at our event had way more runtime than the other racers. And the reason being is because if we would have shortened a race or anything at all, it wouldn't have been fair overall. Okay. If we would have took one of their races out, systematically, it wouldn't have worked because there was 16 racers divided by 4. They had to do their correct amount of events in order for the points to add up equally. Okay. They were able to line up systematically, perfectly, differently every race. So we couldn't take those, we couldn't have shorted the races once it started, or we couldn't have taken them out. Now, yes, if we would have known about, because if we would have known about the extra entries when we started qualifying, yes, we could have shortened it down to a much shorter time. But meanwhile, by that time, it had already started. So we were already past that. So there's nothing we could do about it. But I tell you what, I was in that invite class, and I'm telling you right now, that might be a change that we do at the Arena Cross because that was a ton of fun. Heads up racing, we only had we had our practice session, and that was it. Now it was heads up. And I want to say that was the most fun I've had at a race in a long time. That was a lot of fun. So again, we might see that. And that's the reason for this poll that we're doing because I don't know, guys. I think 2 pro 25-minute A mains would be super cool. Not too long. It doesn't give someone a chance to just check out and be gone, you know? And you have to get in both of them. That would be super cool. But definitely not the same results of what the pros were asking. The pros were saying something totally different. Okay, so we'll get to that later on. But anyway, so the invite class was a ton of fun. I liked how our invite class proved so many expert drivers wrong. Because there was a lot of expert drivers that weren't in the invite class that they feel, and which I feel too, they could have been in the invite class. But every single one of the invite guys almost led that race. I mean, Noah DeLong, I got a lot of people that were saying he shouldn't have been in that class. Is it Noah DeLong? Yeah. And that kid almost won one of the races had his body not came off. If his body didn't come off, pretty sure he was checked out. He was gone. And pretty sure if that body didn't come out, he would have won that race. That, again, Chase Antel, not only he just killed it at NSX, you know. Another one people were saying he shouldn't be in there. He's not fast enough, whatever. I think I was one that did the worst. But I led the race for a while, even in my heat. I was able to lead my race for what, I don't know, 5 minutes, you know. Eider led his for a little bit. Chris Morant from St. Louis or Missouri River, he didn't just lead his races, he won 2 of them, you know. Sammy Moran, another fast guy, which we already knew that little sucker was going to do some damage. He won one of them or 2. No, he won one of them. So it was just super cool to see the consistent racers up top. It was just really cool. And then I think Ryder was the one that ended up winning the overall. He was consistently at the top of all the races, and I think he won the overall. So again, it was just the way the format was designed. It was just perfect. It was awesome. I loved it a lot. It just like that we did all the other racers didn't get enough run time or adequate run time like we all thought we were gonna get. So that kind of sucks. So, but again, that's something that I think we're gonna do at the Arena Cross because it was really, really, really fun. So. And speaking of Arena Cross, I heard some other guys saying, "Oh, don't go to that race. Oh, we're not going to do this race." You know, I even heard, I don't want to say he's an influencer, but I even heard somebody saying, "We're going to do a podcast and we're going to tell you what races you think you should go do and what's good for racers." That's the biggest BS I've ever heard in my life. If you want to go do a race, you go do a race. You experience it for yourself. If it's bad, you experience it bad for yourself. What's good for you could be bad for them. What's bad for them could be good for you. All right. I've had racers tell like Chris, don't go do that race. Don't go do it. And then what do you know? They go do it and they podium when they know you can beat them. But I've had people do that to me. I've had people say, "Oh, we're not gonna go to that sorry ass race," or "We're not gonna go there. I'm tired of it." And then they go and you stay at home. It's like, oh my God, I'll never do that again. You know? So you do the races that you want to do. Don't let people tell you, you know, I mean, it's one thing to say, "Hey, don't travel all the way over here because you're only going to run for 10 minutes. I get that. But the personal race experience, you experience that for yourself. Because like I said, I used to be a night owl and I could stay up all day. P&B, you know how many people say they can't stand that race? They don't want to do it because it goes all night long. Well, hell, some people like to stay up all night long and sleep during the day, you know? I mean, I don't sleep during the day, but I could stay up and I don't mind running my car at 2 in the morning and get some sleep, you know? Again, that guy could be like, that race is horrible, but for you, you're like, oh my God, I'm having a blast. You know what I mean? So you do your races, guys. You do what you think is fit for you. You save up money, you do what you want to do, and you experience it, and you get your results, all right? And you determine whether you want to do that or not. So anyway, let me see here. One of the last subjects I wanted to talk about was the posting. We're going back to guys posting stuff that aren't, you know, that isn't true. But I saw some guys doing some memes on one of the young pro racers that, you know, he hacked another race or whatever, and they started putting memes up of this kid. All right, kid. And I just don't agree with the guys. Again, this is my personal opinion, okay? But just I feel we got to watch what we say and what we do, especially online, especially when they're kids. All right, because I don't know how that kid was taking those memes, but racing is racing, and the majority of us are grown adults. But when grown adults are talking trashing a kid, even though I don't know if he hacked or I don't know what happened, but when you're doing that, that's just not cool, man. And then not just that, you still got to answer to their parents. You know what I mean? So you guys got to watch what you say, watch what you do, because it's just it could turn out to be ugly. Especially when you're talking to a child. So you just man, it's just I don't want to say it's a trend of negativity of people that are doing that stuff, but like a lot of the people that posted negative on my race, look at their Facebook, look at their profiles. You'll see that it's a trend of just negativity throughout their whole post. My race, somebody else's race, different race. You know what I mean? It's just no matter what, they'll never be happy. And just I don't want to say not following those kind of people, but I mean it's good to hear all points of views. But when somebody is constantly downing events, constantly, or especially downing events that they sucked at, or they didn't do good at, or they feel whatever, man, it sucks. Now if you get somebody on there like say Ryan Lutz and he says something crazy or something, I'd probably believe every word he said because that's one of the most positive people I've ever met in my life. Okay, so, but when you see other things that are just constantly I mean, we talk about what's bad for RC, those guys are. Those guys are. All right, so just, it's tough to say watch who you follow, watch what you do or who you go with, but man, yeah, I don't know, guys. But anyway, that's about it. We got through the majority of what I wanted to get through. I normally do this live, but due to our internet not being superb. We're cutting this just a little bit short for this time, and I promise. I mean, I don't know what I got to do if I gotta put one of those Wi-Fi trailers in my front yard to have 200 1,000 upload. Then damn it, that's what we're gonna do. Because yeah, this internet crap is for the birds, man. I cannot stand that. So anyway, that's about it for right now. We kind of got through a lot of things that we wanted to talk about. You know what? This is one other thing I wanted to talk about right here. Entries. All right, this is probably the last thing I'm going to talk about, and it's pretty cool. It's so I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because we're now telling all of our racers you got to pre-sign up, But I just saw this one, and this one's tough. I'm in the same boat as you guys. DNC is what, next week? And I haven't even signed up yet. Because, as you guys know, entries are very, very expensive. And for the first time at DNC, can we give Joey a big round of a hand? He moved the DNC date. And for the first time, we are going to have probably the best weather we've ever had at DNC. Because if he would have kept his old DNC date, it would have rained. So I don't know how, but we have predicted rain, and it will always be on the old weekend of DNC, no matter what. But yeah, big shout out to Joey for moving his date on a weekend where we were going to have one of the best DNCs possible, man. This is awesome. But pre-entries, we've gotten immune to signing up at the last minute because other races, our race, we give you a refund if you can't make it. If you pre-regged and you got a death in the family or something like that, we're going to give you a refund back. Now, if you do your practice, your qualifiers, and your main event, and you're asking for a refund, man, come on. So that's not going to happen. All right. But these other races, if you read this, please help. I have 2 entries to DNC. Joey won't refund me, but will let me transfer them to somebody else. This is why I get it, why a lot of people don't pre-reg. Because imagine running 4 or 5 classes. That's $500-$600. You know what I mean? And to not get it back due to weather or due to whatever unseen, circumstances, that sucks. So I totally get it. But for the first time, I'm gonna pre-reg for DNC. I don't think that's the first for me. I don't know how long. So anyway, so yeah, I totally get it, guys. Refunded entries is a reason why a lot of people don't pre-reg. But unfortunately, for TNR next year, it's going to be almost a pre-reg race only. So, because we will not have what happened this year again. That was the downfall. That was the start of the downfall of our race. So, yeah, we're gonna get through that, and we're gonna change things up quite a bit, man. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much it. I want to end the note on something like this. One of my good buddies, Jimmy Fishback, we were talking, and this is what he wrote. He goes, "Man, I know it's hard to put on a race event, a lot of work. That's why when I show up, I don't complain. I got to appreciate it because without you guys, there'd be no racing." And that's 100% true. We got 3 10 scale tracks left. We got what? No, 4 10 scale tracks left. We got, yeah, Hot Rods, San Diego, Coyote, and I know I'm missing one. Oh, and Roadrunner. Okay, 4 10 scale tracks left. And we got about 5 8 scale tracks left. All right. And without the promoters, without these tracks, we got absolutely nothing. And we're seeing record number of RC tracks falling off the planet, man. So for what he says right here, and I'm not saying, like I said, he has to eat it and we could throw horrible races and call it a day. That's not what he's saying. He's saying, I appreciate what's going on, even though the effort's there and it might suck. But hey, we're racing RC cars, guys. And at the end of the day, we got to remember we're racing RC cars and we're having a blast. And we're blessed to be able to race RC cars. So at the end of the day, we got to be thankful. All right. So big shout out to Jimmy Fishback and wishing him big time luck at DNC, guys. So, all right. Wait, I said that was the last thing we were going to say, but it's not. Who's going to win DNC? Who is going to win? Okay. Who do you think is going to win? Mayfield. All right. My producer's saying Mayfield. He's hoping Mayfield wins. I'm going to give an educated guess. All right. I feel Ryan Mayfield is probably one of the fastest truggy racers out there in the world. I'm going to say that just like that, in the world. The boy could wheel a truggy like no other. Okay. He could do the same thing with the e-buggy and a buggy, but I feel his truggy level is at this level. Now, with the facts that are out there, my wife's favorite driver is Long. She loves the little boy. Okay. She's always rooting for him. But Long, Jermaine Robertson, and Mason Fuller, and Seth Vandell. Okay? And I have to throw one international guy in there. Even though Juan Canas is my favorite international guy, I'm going to give this one to Elliott Boots because what Elliott Boots did to the DNC, was it last year or the year before? He made the whole pro field look like they weren't pros. It was amazing what he did. He checked out and never looked back, all right? That was last year, the year before, or the year before, I believe. So this year, Jermaine Robinson just killed it at NSX. He just killed it. All right. When that boy is on fire, it's awesome to watch. His speed is at another level. Mason Fuller, one of my favorite American drivers. What he did at Silver State, you cannot put any race. You can't doubt him for any race. He swept Silver State. And then the next year came back and won 2 more, almost 3 classes. You can't sit on that. And then one of the fastest internationals, Elliott Boots and Juan Canas. Those are some of the fastest internationals. I don't think Ongaro's coming because Ongaro is the fastest driver in the world, but I don't think he's gonna make it. So and then Killick Burak, if he was coming, I would put him in the top 3 to win it. All right, because that boy is bad to the bone. All right. But for my American boys, I got Mason, I got Long, and I got Jermaine. These are the guys that, and then, I'm sorry, and Seth. I can't give 3 because what Seth Vandale just killed it at TNR. You know what I mean? But then you got another group of guys. You got Jarrett Wiggins, you got Ryan Letts, you got Drake. Those 2 old farts are still making the A mains. How is that even possible? Not just making the A mains. I put Ryan Letts as winning e-buggy. I could put him as winning e-buggy all day. This is just my opinion, but these guys are bad to the bone. I mean, they might have to start walking with a cane soon, but they're still up there with the fast kids. I love it, And then don't sleep on Spitzer Rifkin is probably the sneaker that's right there. And Spencer Rifkin, if he takes out and he gets out front, he's gone. No one's touching him. So it's just, and then an honest truth, I can't leave out Camden Line. I think Camden Line's more like me. I feel Camden Line is one of the fastest pros we have right now walking. One of the fastest pros. He just crashes. And that's how I am. I feel I'm one of the fastest intermediate 40 plus drivers. Not the fastest, but I'm up there. But I've had other Fast 40 Plus guys go, oh, we'll let Chris go. He's faster than us, but we'll let him go because we know he's going to crash. That's how I feel like Camden Line is. I feel if Camden Line can hold it together just that little bit, he's checking out and he's gone. We've already seen it. So it's going to be a fun DNC to watch, guys. It really is going to be a fun DNC to watch. So can't wait. I'm going to be there myself. I'm going to be running my new Mugen, so I'm excited about that. Thank you again, Peter Whitehead. Thanks to the Drakes. Thanks everyone for helping that program get going. So it's going to be cool. Anyway, all right, guys, that's it for this is episode 2 of 3. We got our third podcast coming up. It's either going to be Monday or Thursday. It's going to be after DNC. We're going to give our DNC report. We're going to let you know how it goes. I'm going to let you guys know how it was running the Mugen, and we're going to go from there. So I want to say thanks to the producers, Lorena and Garrett. And I promise, guys, we will have internet issues wrapped up and taken care of by the third podcast. I promise you that, guys. All right, guys, that's it. That's Chris Nelson with Let's Talk RC, guys. We're out.